Listen, I am not saying that Nintendo Direct was amazing. I am not saying it was phenomenal, one of the best ever. I am absolutely not implying that it was amazing, but listen to the games. Listen to all of the games that we got from this Nintendo Direct. We got Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 in one package. We got Mario Tennis Fever. We got Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 edition with a bunch of new content. We got Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which looks amazing. Tomodachi Life got an update. We got new amiibo for Kirby Air Riders, for Mario Galaxy, and for Metroid. The Virtual Boy Nintendo Switch Online. We got a update for Stardew Valley, a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and a release date for December. A DLC package for Donkey Kong Bonanza. A new Pokemon game called Pokemon Pokopia, which I'm not even a Pokemon fan, and it actually looks appealing to me. It looks very fascinating. I love the concept. And then to close out the show, we got a new Fire Emblem game. There were also a couple other trailers like Age of Imprisonment that gave us a bunch of release dates. We got a bunch of updates in this Direct and a bunch of DLC and a bunch of ports and remakes. I get that. I really do get that, but that is still new content. And if you want to talk about third parties, which don't interest me as much, but I know they do definitely interest a lot of people, Hades 2 was announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. Danganronpa 2x2 was announced, and that currently has more views than Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment's new trailer does, so that game is pretty big. That new Dragon Quest VII Reimagined game, Resident Evil Requiem, is coming day and date on the Nintendo Switch 2. A new Monster Hunter game, Dynasty Warriors, we got Pokemon Legends ZA, another trailer for that, which technically is second party. We got Suika, that is a very popular game, and again, I cannot emphasize this enough. This was not an amazing Direct, but what it was a solid one. It was fine, and I understand people were expecting a little bit more from a 1 hour Direct. But this is where I think things start to go off the rails a little bit, because what exactly was the Nintendo community expecting? Well, I saw a lot of people very upset afterwards that there was no 3D Mario game. Okay, cool. We got a 3D Donkey Kong game this year, and I think that team was about half the team of Odyssey, and that Koizumi is actually having another team that is working on the 3D Mario as we speak. I think they split up those teams and that different directors are working on the 3D Mario game right now. I am very confident in that theory, and go check out my video on it to see more in detail why I think that and what's going on with Mario. But I wasn't expecting Mario, and I don't think anyone should have been expecting Mario, because we got Donkey Kong Bonanza this year, and that was the 3D platformer of the year. It was a phenomenal game, and it scratched that itch for me, and for a lot of people, I think it should have scratched that itch, and we should not be expecting 3D Mario. There weren't as many people upset about this, but I do want to touch on it. 3D Zelda. People were looking forward to a new 3D Zelda. People knew it probably was not coming because Tears of the Kingdom came out in 2023, and last year we had a 2D Zelda game in Echoes of Wisdom, a brand new one, so it made sense that there wasn't going to be any sort of Zelda presence here, but I still did see some people disappointed that there was no Zelda game, except we got Age of Imprisonment, which I know people don't seem to respect as much, which is crazy to me because that game is going to be amazing. It's going to be one of the best releases of the Switch 2's year, but still, I understand people wanted Zelda, and yet it was never coming. We knew that we were not getting a Zelda game, especially considering Breath and Tears both got a Switch 2 edition at launch. In all technicality, we have received 3 Zelda games this year, if you count Age of Imprisonment, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, respectively. And if you want to count Wind Waker as a part of that GameCube stuff, you've got 4, and if you want to count 4 Swords Adventures, that's 5. 5 different Zelda games that were previously inaccessible to us that are now able to be played in a better way on the Switch 2. Zelda was not going to be in this Direct, and that is just something I think people mismanaged their expectations on. Moving forward to Smash Bros. I cannot understand why people don't seem to get this. And again, go check out my video on that topic to see more why I think Smash is not coming for a good while. But come on, people. Sakurai confirmed in the Nintendo Direct with Kirby Air Riders that he and his Smash Brothers team, the team that made Smash, is working on Kirby Air Riders. They are not developing a Smash Brothers game with a new team. They're not going to give it to a new director as long as Sakurai has air in his lungs. It's not happening. And so what that means is that Smash has not been in development, and it will not be coming for a long while. We are in for another 2 to 3, even maybe 4 years without Smash on this console. And yes, that can be disappointing, and if you want to say that's disappointing, that's totally fine. I get that. But why would you expect a Smash Brothers game at this Direct? Why? That is the game that has infuriated me the most. Why in the world do people look at Sakurai, look at Kirby Air Riders, look at that development team, and say, yeah, Smash is coming. Why not? And it makes me so frustrated. To be disappointed and to expect it are two completely different things. I understand the disappointment. I wish that we had Smash 2. I love Smash. But we can't get every big franchise that we want in the first year. We just can't. That's not how it works. They have to spread out their big games to make the console better. Now here is the one that is most understandable and one that I'm not even really going to go to bat for, Animal Crossing. We have not had an Animal Crossing game in 5 years. It came out in 2020, did New Horizons, and it was a big, big game. And I understand that people were really, really expecting Animal Crossing to be here, that they were hoping it was going to be that one more thing at the very end of that Direct, and it just didn't happen. As to why, I really can't tell you. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but for me personally, going into that Direct, I did not expect Animal Crossing, because sure, it was likely. I mean, it made sense in terms of the timing, the release date. It definitely could have been in this Direct for early 2026 or mid 2026, or not even give us a date. Just say 2026, sometime next year. And I really feel for the Animal Crossing community that felt let down by New Horizons' lack of DLC and just the way that Nintendo kind of abandoned that game, and all of the new content was pretty much just old content from the other games. I know people are excited and really, really want a new Animal Crossing, but for whatever reason, going into that Direct, I knew Animal Crossing was not going to be there, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I know that Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Bonanza were the two big games for this year. Now the problem is Mario Kart didn't hit. Mario Kart did not hit the way that Nintendo wanted it to, and I want you to imagine a world it did. Imagine a world where Mario Kart World was the big game of the year. That it hit just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe hit, that it was even better, it was bigger than ever, the story was great, in terms of like the story mode, the mission mode, the actual gameplay was phenomenal, people loved the track design, people loved the online. Imagine it truly and totally hit. Well, then we had Donkey Kong Bonanza a month later, a phenomenal 3D platformer that fills in for 3D Mario perfectly. And if Nintendo wants to make sure that they spread out their big IPs, that all of their big franchises don't come out at once, and that way they leave themselves without any games for the rest of the console's life, they have to make sure that they spread these things out. And if we had a Mario Kart that hit and a Donkey Kong that hit, then it would make perfect sense why the rest of this year wouldn't have as many big games. But even still, we have plenty of games this year and next year. There are so many games coming out. And listen, I understand a lot of these games might not be for everybody, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows there are plenty of games to play. Starting off, we have Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Both games, two games people have been clamoring for years, particularly Galaxy 2, and we will be able to play both of those in 4K with new content. Pokemon Legends ZA is coming out, and that will be on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I'm telling you, do not sleep on this game. It is going to be one of the best of the year. Kirby Air Riders. We're getting another Kirby Air Riders game. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This game looks unbelievably good. I cannot wait to dive into that game. Mario Tennis Fever. Listen, I get it. Tennis fatigue, I get it, but people are acting like they just had one last year. Dude, the last Mario Tennis game was in 2018. It's been 7 years. I could talk about that all day, but I'll just leave it there. Tennis is their big franchise that everyone buys. It's the sports game. People love it. It's got a great story mode. I'm excited. It looks so good. Then we've got Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. It's not a niche franchise. Tomodachi Life sells. It is such a big franchise for Nintendo, and they're finally bringing it back. It may seem like a niche game, but it's truly not. It's really fun. You guys should definitely try it out if you did not buy the 3DS one. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, a new 2D Yoshi game, but it looks amazing. It's not just Yoshi's Crafted World again. It looks like it actually has vision, heart. It looks like it has creativity. It looks really good. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I don't care what y'all say. This game looks phenomenal. I'm so excited to get my hands on this game, but yet it's another Fire Emblem game, and that's just ridiculous too. But here we are with another Fire Emblem game that we can play. Then Pokemon Pocopia. What a weird Animal Crossing Minecraft type game that is so creative, so smart. I love the Ditto concept of just becoming a human and then using all these different Pokemon powers to create a world, to create what you want. I'll probably go more in depth on it in its own video, but I am not a Pokemon fan at all. I do not buy Pokemon games, I don't like Pokemon, but this game might get me. This might be the first Pokemon game I ever play. Then we've got Rhythm Heaven Groove, another niche game that I understand people are not super excited about, but that is still another game. Then we have Splatoon freaking Raiders, a huge IP from Nintendo getting a spin-off for the first time in its series existence. It's going to be amazing, and we don't know anything about it yet, but yet that is still another game that we have to look forward to, another exclusive that we can play. And plus, all of the Switch 2 editions, right? We're not even talking about any of those. Super Mario Bros. Wonder just got announced for a Switch 2 edition, and that game is going to have a bunch of new content. It's coming out in spring of 2026. They did not give us a release window for that because they are very intentionally not showing us everything about that game. We can see here in this little image that Rosalina will be a playable character. And I am almost 1000% confident that they're waiting to tell us more about this game, waiting to give us more content about this game for it to line up better with the Mario movie in April. This game is going to launch in spring, and Mario Galaxy 2 and 1 are launching in October. So they want to make sure that people are talking about Mario Galaxy right before the movie comes out. So what are they going to do? Mario Bros. Wonder, new content, probably space-themed content with Rosalina as a playable character. So my point here is, we just have a lot of games coming. We have a lot of games. And the thing is that there is disappointment and there is frustration. And I understand that, and that is perfectly fine to express that opinion. I agree to some extent that this is frustrating to only have smaller games, to only have niche games. But I really implore you, if you are a true Nintendo fan, to try out some of these games. The biggest argument I have against PlayStation and especially Xbox is their lack of console exclusives, is their lack of games that make me want to buy the system. I bought my PlayStation 5 about 2 years ago, and I played all the Spider-Man games. I caught up on God of War, I caught up on Horizon, I caught up on Ghost of Tsushima, and looking forward to Ghost of Yotei. They have some great first-party exclusives, but I have not played my PS5 much in the past 2 years because none of the exclusives have appealed to me, and they've not made many of them. Astrobot last year was the game of the year, but that was the game that Sony didn't even think was going to do well. They had a little small team that they didn't give hardly any resources to, they didn't care much about, and the game released, and wow, it took off. So they just ran with it, and it won Game of the Year. And in their announcement, in their Game of the Year awards speech, the developers really called out Mario. They said, thank you Mario, thank you Nintendo for giving us the inspiration to make this game. It all comes from Nintendo. And the thing is that Nintendo continues to deliver. They continue to give us big games with great experiences. No matter how you feel about Mario Kart, those tracks are amazing. The physics are amazing. The gameplay is there. They just didn't give us the amount of content that we probably wanted, and that open world wasn't as big as it should have been. It wasn't as intuitive, it wasn't as explorative as it should have been. There wasn't enough to do. And if not for the online, I would be defending that game to death. I would be saying it is an amazing experience, but the online is frustrating to only be able to play intermissions most of the time. We got Donkey Kong Bonanza as well. Like I've said a million times, we've gotten some great games, and we're going to get more games. This is where the conversation starts to get frustrating, because we have all these games. It's undeniable how many games we have coming, but people are going to try to undersell them. People are going to try to come up with reasons as to why, okay, well sure, there are games, but these games don't appeal to me, or they have problems, they're overpriced, and Nintendo is greedy, and we all hate Nintendo now because why exactly? Why do we hate Nintendo now? They are continuing to be the company that they have been for years. Nothing has changed. People are trying to act like Nintendo has gone through this horrible phase, and they are just letting the success of the Switch go to their head, and they are taking us for granted. No, they're just continuing to do what they have always done. Continue to be at the top of the market and let market value push their sales. For example, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I made a whole video going into that. I will just give it a brief synopsis here. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are $70 together, $40 separate. They are 15-year-old Wii games. I understand that. But Nintendo, with their first-party games, particularly with their big brands like Mario, like Zelda, has always charged full price for their products. Is it frustrating? Sure, I wish it was cheaper. Who wouldn't want free video games, right? I wish it was all free, but that's not how it works. That's not how the world works. That's not how companies work. What price would suffice? Because Silksong just released for $20, and that is a brand new game that will probably win Game of the Year. People have been looking forward to it for literally over 7 years. It is a phenomenal game, and it was only $20. So why in the world would 2 old Mario games and a Mario spin-off and a Donkey Kong DLC and all of these other games, why would they be more expensive than Silksong? Indie games are cheap because they are made by small teams. End of story. They are made by small teams that have not proven themselves yet. Team Cherry proved themselves. They are just regular dudes that made an amazing game, and they could have charged $50 to $60 to $70 for Silksong, and people would have bought it, and it would have been worth every freaking penny. But they didn't. Why? Because that's what they do. That's what they chose. 3 guys decided, you know what? We're not going to upcharge too much. Hollow Knight was $15. Silksong will be $20. And that's just for 3 people. There is no company here. There is no marketing team. There's no a bunch of people that you got to feed mouths. There's no company. There's no stock investors. There's no any of that. So they don't have to worry about it. Every single penny will go to their pockets. So they don't have to charge that much, because if you really think about it, $20, and if it sells like 10 to 15 million like it will, that is so much money for only 3 people to split. In Nintendo's case, they have an entire development team that went over a game. They have marketing departments, they have PR, they have people that they have to pay in their lawyer division, they have people that they have to pay all over the place, they have stocks, they have investors, they have big people to pay. They have big people to meet expectations because they are a larger company and the brand is bigger. When an indie developer releases a game and they are completely unknown, nobody knows who they are, they have no brand, they have nothing, they charge less for you to get into it because you don't know what they're going to provide you. You just can't trust the experience because they're indie developers. When you buy something from Nintendo, when you buy something from Sony, from PlayStation, you know what you're getting into. You're getting quality, you're getting the brand, you're getting assurance of product. And no, I don't think that they should charge $1 million for their games. I think $80 is ridiculous. $70, however, is market value. And for Nintendo, releasing a big Mario game, 2 big Mario games, Mario Galaxy 2, one game that people have been wanting for years, and sure, it's old, but it's going to run in 4K and have new content and help market the movie, for that to only be $70 for 2 games is not a bad deal. It's just not. And I understand with past precedent being set with Mario 3D All-Stars and those 3 games with Galaxy in it, that was $60, and they were essentially saying that those games were $20 each. Well, this is a little bit different because now it's upgraded to 4K, it's more content, so it makes sense as to why it would be $40 now just for one, and yet, I understand the frustration. But if you look at the pricing model, it's just not that bad. As far as the other games go, I have seen so many people complain about Nintendo being greedy, so many people complaining about full price, but this is the Nintendo that they have always been. In the Switch era, they were charging full price for games like Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers. They were charging full price for experiences like freaking 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch was $50, people. And we're going to sit here and complain that Welcome Tour was $10 and they didn't include it with us. Yes, they should have included it with the Switch too. I think that would have been a lot more beneficial for them in terms of just giving us goodwill and allowing people to understand their console more. But still, they only charged $10 for that when the tech demo of the Nintendo Switch was charging $50. They're not going bad. They're not turning greedy. This is what they've always been. They charge market value. They charge full price for their experiences because they believe their developers and their teams are quality. They believe every product they make is worth the money. And guess who decides that? Guess who decides if it's worth it or not? Guess who decides what that price actually sits at? It's you. It's you and me. We decide if it is too much or too little. And for me, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy these games because I love these games. I want them on my Switch too, and I want to play them. So I'm going to buy them because $70 is a good deal to me personally. It's not bad. I will play both of these games to death, and I cannot wait to go back to Galaxy 2. Galaxy 2 is my favorite 3D Mario game, and I have not played it in years. I have not pulled out my Wii in years, and now I get to play it on my Switch too, anywhere I want, or on my Switch. Oh my gosh, what a privilege. I am going to buy it because it's worth it to me. And if you buy it and it's worth it to you, then it's a good deal for you. Maybe you don't wish it was $70, like I don't wish it was $70. I wish everything was cheaper, but that's not how it works. I made a poll. I said if Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 sell very well, and I'm talking like 5 to 10 to 15 million, is that proof that the games are reasonably priced? Over 100 people voted at the time of this recording. 44% said yes, it means that people found it worth buying, and 56% said no, it is too much no matter what. This is where I think there is a disconnect. This is where I think people don't understand. If a game sells well, that is not only indicative of the game itself, but of the marketing and of the price of it. And I understand there are several factors that go into whether or not someone's going to buy it, so 5 to 10 million is not indicative of any one particular thing, but we can ascertain very specific details from these price models and from the amount of games that are sold for a specific game. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, if they sell 10 million units, let's say, especially after that Mario Galaxy movie, people are going to go to their Switches and they're going to go, oh my gosh, I want to play Mario Galaxy, I want to know what's up with Rosalina, I want to learn more. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to the eShop, they're going to see Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and they're going to buy them. And that right there, if they see the price and they don't care because they just want to play the game and they know that's market value. Oh, $70, 2 games? I can only get 1 game for $70 everywhere else. I'm getting 2 games here that I've never played before because guess what? The Wii came out a long time ago and not everyone has played the Wii. And also the waggle controls, the motion controls, a lot of people didn't like that, so now it's modernized to stick controls. Those games are worth it to the people that buy them, and it's only worth buying if everyone decides to buy it together. And if you are one of those people that think it's too much, that it's overpriced, and that you would never pay for it, then don't. Just don't. And why in the world is it harder than that? Why does it feel as though everyone has to get on YouTube, on Twitter, and become this big warrior of justice to fight against bad Nintendo, big bad Nintendo, charging $70 for Mario Galaxy 1 and 2? What are you doing? Just don't buy the game. And if you don't, and a bunch of other people don't, then Nintendo will assuredly lower the price of their games. If all of these games all of a sudden stopped selling, I guarantee you they would lower the price. If that is at least what they could really point to, that's what they would do. And you want to know how I know that? Because in the Wii U generation, that's exactly what they did, and that's what people are pointing to. Back on the Wii U eShop in the Virtual Console, Xenoblade Chronicles, you could buy that game for $20. You could buy Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for $20. You could buy Luigi's Mansion 2 HD for $20. Donkey Kong Country Returns, you could buy for much cheaper. Now on the Switch, you have to pay more. Why is that? Did the greed go to their heads? Are they just a horrible big bad company that wants to steal all your money? Well, to a certain extent, yes, they want your money because that's how companies run, and that's the bottom line. You stay open because you make money. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that they want to make money and that they probably want to make a little bit more money than maybe they need, but I am saying it is perfectly reasonable for them to go on the Wii U and sell these games for cheap and try to get anyone, just anyone, to buy their console because they were failing and they were trying to give us goodwill. Because people were not buying the Wii U, those prices were cheaper. Because people are buying the Switch and are buying it at full price, why would they lower the console price? Why would they lower the game price? People are buying it, therefore it is priced appropriately, because if it wasn't, no one would buy it. And if it's too expensive to you, that's fine. Don't buy it. But acting like Nintendo is the worst company in the world, acting like they've changed somehow, that they are just different, that they are worse than every other company, is ridiculous. They have the cheapest console on the market. It is cheaper by over $100, $150 in some cases, between PlayStation and Xbox both. Now I get it, both are different. Xbox Series S, for example, is cheaper than the Switch, but you cannot play your games on the go on Xbox Series X, and there aren't Nintendo exclusives. There just aren't. And if you want to get into it, perfect, go get a Series X. But if you want to be able to play big home console games, amazing exclusives, with very fun gameplay, intuitive gameplay, on the go, in 4K, get your Switch 2. That's what people have done, that's what they would continue to do, and that is why I am just so confused at the toxicity of the Nintendo community right now. It feels like everywhere you go, people are complaining about something for something that I don't feel is incredibly justified. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be disappointed. Do not take away from this video that I'm saying all those people are dumb. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is be a little bit more reasonable with what this looks like for you. Why in the world are we complaining about things that are cheaper than everything else? Switch 2 is the cheapest on the market. We have games that are $70 matching up with the value of every other game in the industry. Nintendo is not charging us like we're nothing. They're not charging prices that are totally insane. The only game they have pushed boundaries on is Mario Kart World, $80. And you know what? That game should not be $80. It should be $70. It's not worth $80. I agree. Guess what? When those big games come out and they see the sales of Mario Kart World and the insane attach rate that it has with the Switch 2, when the big games like Smash come out, it's going to be $80. When the next 3D Mario game comes out, it's probably going to be $80. When the next 3D Zelda comes out, Animal Crossing, it's probably going to be $80. Why? Because you guys are going to buy it. Because everyone bought Mario Kart World, and I know that was a bundle, so maybe they won't want to do that. Maybe they'll pull back. Maybe they'll see the backlash that people had to it and decide, you know what, 70. But they've sold these Switch 2 editions for $80, haven't they? So I think they're going to do the same for these other ones. That is the only point that I feel like I totally agree with everyone on. $80 is ridiculous. It should be $70. But again, if people buy it, it's worth it because people are buying it and they're going to keep selling it at that price point and they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until someone decides to step up. Until we decide it's too much. But as long as I have this channel and as long as I love Nintendo, I'm probably going to buy the games. So that is my argument. That is my position here. I do not think Nintendo is killing puppies or anything. They're not giving us horrible deals all over the place. They're not giving us bad games. They're not. It's just ridiculous to say that. If you don't like the games they're releasing, that's one thing. If you're saying that they have no games, that's a lie. It's wrong. And yes, I think it's probably weird for them to announce these specific games for this year and for the early next year, right? But we don't know what 2026 has in store. We don't know what big games are coming next year. And I think they thought that Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Bonanza would really tide us over. And if Mario Kart had been gold, then I agree, it would have. But it just was controversial, and that led to all of this. So that is my opinion. That is what's going on here. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I genuinely want to know your opinion. What is going on here with you? Why do you not like this? Or do you agree with me? Thank you for making it to the very end. Make sure you press that like button and that hype button. The hype button is very important to growing the channel. Press that subscribe button to join the community and press that notification bell to know exactly when my videos release. Please consider joining my membership program to support the channel and me as a content creator. Make sure you click on the left side of your screen to see more about my Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 discourse, and click on the right side of your screen to see my breakdown of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment's new trailer. Thank you very much for making it to the end. You have yourself a phenomenal day. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk. I have been Ray, and I will see you all in the next video.